Y'all already know the rules. When you come in my house, take off your shoes and super violate that like button. Shall we begin?
Like always, we need to begin. It's been a long time. They've been waiting. It's been a few months. It's good. What you been up to, Playboy?
Now, what you been up to?
I've been chilling. I've been chilling, working. Everyday life, the struggle, man. It's like I'm winning, but I feel like I'm losing. But I know I'm winning. I'm really winning, but I'm struggling because I'm doing the right thing. It's easy to make a call and go to the left, but that ain't part of the plan.
But you got to break that down, like, because I don't think they really understand.
You know,
when you winning, but it really feels like you losing. Like, damn, that's actually deep when you think about it.
At the difficulty comes ease, and it's like I'm struggling and I'm working. You know what I'm saying? The benefit, you know what I'm saying, for the kids and everything I'm doing is like you're working. It's major sacrifices, and with the sacrifice, you know, it's not really for me. It's for my kids and for the future of me and my kids. And I done wasted so much time that it's like I'm in a rat race trying to get ahead the right way. I'm gonna keep on expounding on the right way, because it's easy to make a call and be back on the block, but how long that's gonna last, you know? I've been home for years now, and I never stop. When I'm up, I'm going.
So hold up, I mean, why not just go back to the block?
Not go back to the block, you know, because I'm smarter than that, you know. That's what these people want you to do. Go back to the block so you can make them money. They don't want to see you winning. They want to win. It's a game, you know. It's a trap, and I'm not trying to get caught up in that trap. Be on the block, hustling, you know. I'm trying to be a positive role model and show. Like 20 plus years of my life been wasted, and at the end of the day, I'm working, and I could have been doing this 20 years ago, and I could have been ahead. I could have had better planning, a better understanding. You know, if I'd had the right guidance, like I'm trying to get to the people now and show them the guidance, the understanding of life, the sacrifice of life. You know, how you winning, what's really winning. Winning to certain people is the fast money, the cars, the women, the partying. You know, that's these people that's irresponsible, that don't have no family, and just don't give a fuck. They selfish. They think about themselves.
Irresponsible is a word that has so many branches on a tree. The word irresponsible has so many branches and leaves on a tree. And I see so many people being irresponsible, and I just don't get it. It's like, in this roller coaster ride that we call life, where you don't get no do-overs and second chances like that. Sometimes you don't get a second chance. I see so many people that's irresponsible. I get up every day and go to sleep every night trying to figure out how to perfect my craft. But then I see niggas that ain't got their life together, and you getting up out of the bed at 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm like, I thought the saying was the early bird get the worm.
The early bird get the worm. Yeah, I ain't hear that in a while. You know, it's summertime, and I can understand certain things in the summertime. Dudes want to play, dudes want to do certain things, but like you said, the early bird get the worm, and I'm up the crack of dawn. That's why we made Fajr prayer. Fajr prayer is supposed to be the start of your day.
Hold up. When you in your 40s, your 30s and your 40s, especially your 40s, and you ain't got no money coming in life, when you fail, when you got a bad report card, wasn't the main objective to put you on punishment so you could learn your lesson? But you failing in life. People sit up there and make fun of me, right? Oh, he ain't never outside. He ain't never outside because I'm not where I want to be in life. But I'm where you want to be in life. But I got to put that in subtitles or something? Like, there was a time where Where I'm at right now was my dream. You want the house? I'm in jail. I remember when I'm in jail asking Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Let me go home. I learned my lesson. Give me a wife. Give me kids. Give me dog. I want the white fence around my house. Even praying for some of my brothers to come home. We here now. But now that we created this oasis and have all this stuff, crazy cars in the driveway. We got our little farmers. It might not be what Mayweather got, but we got our lead. But now once you get what we got, you got to maintain that. And it was like Bill was saying to me on the phone when we was talking on the phone. I was like, yeah, we got to get this conversation on video. What you say, Bill? I'm just working to pay the bills?
Working to pay the bills. And this is supposed to be the American dream. The house with the picket fence and the cars. But we working to pay the bills. How we get ahead. That's the game plan, to get ahead. You know, that's what the real sacrifices is for. Everybody got different levels of sacrificing what they want in life. You know, one of my biggest things is freedom, success. And this is the sacrifices I'm making. I had a blessed summer with my kids. But now with school time, it's back to school, and now it's more bills. It seems like as soon as you get ahead or you think you're getting ahead, it's something that knocks you back. Even the economy. I talked to him about the economy. I said, I go to Walmart to go shopping. I got a budget of $200, $300 in food to get, but you got women and people that's on public assistance, and they got shopping carts full of stuff. Sometimes 2 shopping carts, you know, and that hits me hard, you know, because I work hard for mine. And like I said, that's another sacrifice. Getting up early in the morning, the American dream, working at 9 to 5. I work at 9 to 5, but it just happened to be a swing shift. And everything I do now is a sacrifice. You know, we build on the phone. Me and Hassan talk a lot on the phone. We build about different things that's going on in life. I say, listen, I'm damn near, I got all the stuff I accumulated is before I got my house. I said this before. Now that I got a house, it's like everything goes in my house and the rest is left over go to the kids. When I pass away, whether the house is paid off or not, my insurance is going to pay the house off, so the kids are going to have something. They're going to have a jump start in life. But like I said, all my extra money, it goes to the kids, it goes to my house. Now it's time to make the next step as far as getting ahead, getting play money, being outside. Being outside to some people is being on the block. Being outside to me is being on somebody's beach where I could afford to fly out, relax. If I decide to sip on something because I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm able to do that.
That's
relax.
why when I said to niggas, my outside ain't like your outside, some people got offended and some people didn't really understand. I don't consider going outside, standing on the same block I grew up on and been outside my whole life. That's not being outside. That's not outside for me. I'm a grown man. When I take pictures, from me going to Hawaii and going to Puerto Rico and going to exotic places, even places in Miami, in Florida, and seeing the landscaping. This is where the idea came from for my yard during the days of COVID. I wanted to feel like I was outside. So when you see me in my yard, I really, really, really feel like I'm outside every time. Now, whether people want to come to my house and keep me company, because the reality of it is, a lot of niggas don't want to bring their wives to my house or bring the crew to my house because it shows them what a grown man is really supposed to do. You see what I'm saying? When a grown man go amongst grown men, there's levels to being grown. And grown men, well, you said responsibility or being irresponsible, there's many branches on that tree. There's certain things that requires a grown man's touch, like having a house and leaving that behind to your children bare minimum, so they could at least they could borrow against their own the loan on the house, the equity on the house.
They could borrow.
You could borrow out of the equity of the house at least bare minimum, and get a second mortgage if you need a loan and pay for your house all over again, which is backwards. But sometimes in life, you got to take 2 steps back in order to go 10 steps forward. And you know, some of the things that I see on the internet, right? It offends me. It offends me because grown men do grown things. When you're 40 years old, right? And you get your first piece of money at 40. I can't think like when I was younger, I got some money, got a lump sum of money at one time in my hand right now, and the first thing I did was go to the jewelry store. That's what you do at 20 years old. At 40 years old, you know what's going through our brains?
How we gonna make this money work for us? How we gonna make this money make more money?
You know what I told Bill earlier?
What's that? Tell him.
I don't want to be 50 and 60 years old calling on the phone like, yo, Bill, can I borrow $20? 20, ain't even got 20. As a man, I'm a man. And I don't have to convince myself of that. I don't want to get on the phone and ask another man for $1. I don't want to get on the phone and ask another, and I'm not knocking anybody that done fell upon hard times. But for me, to actually have to pick up a phone, first of all, niggas don't like me anyway, because I'm not like, in their mind, in my lifestyle, I exceeded what people saw of me. I was supposed to be the nigga that did life in jail. I was supposed to be the dumb out nigga. And not just be the dumb out nigga, I was supposed to keep on praising ignorance the way the rappers do. See the difference between the rappers and me? The rappers live an even better lifestyle, or on the same level lifestyle as I'm living, but then they go back and make you feel comfortable being a bum. I'm not here to make you feel comfortable while you 40 years old and you still living in your mother's house.
Hold on. Half of the rappers is tripping dudes. They come and they acting like they from the hood, or they acting like they was this and that. There's only very few rappers that actually went through the struggle. And they did their little time. But at the end of the day, they not showing you how they really live, their comfortability. They want you to be ignorant to the fact so you can keep on supporting them, so they can keep on putting their kids through college. You know, I'm not going to mention no names, but there's a few of them that's on it. They might have been in the game, but now they're not. They're not going to tell you the technology that's going on. They're not going to put you on the game because they just selfish. They want theirs. They want their family to be all right. They don't want to help and uplift the community. They don't want to stop the violence. You know, when they say outside, they outside. They outside, like he said, it's different. These dudes is going on cruises. They going to different islands. They going on. They're not going to show you their glorious lifestyle.
Going back to the hood for them is a publicity stunt. And they selling you the hood because there's nothing else to sell you. They selling you the hood because if they actually sold you the lifestyle that they accomplished for themselves, they would actually have to talk down on the music that they pushing out. It's boring sitting up there saying, hey, yo, you know what I'm saying? Know what I mean? Look at my beautiful plant. Who wants to put that in a song? Like, I got the dopest flowers, my nigga. Who wants to rap? Nah, niggas don't want to rap about this. They want to sit up there and talk about bloodshed and all the rest of the ignorance. But meanwhile, what they don't tell you is, one, most of them niggas got the number to the mayor. So as soon as they get pulled over, the mayor is calling the whatever police that got them and saying letting them go. Two, they riding around with off-duty officers because half them niggas ain't gonna tell you that the niggas that you used to see behind them all got gun cases for coming outside to protect them, or racketeering cases. So it's like, okay, we done seen the Casanova 2 times. You know what I mean? Free Casanova 2 times. You know what I mean? And one thing I always bring up Casanova 2 times? Because I feel like him sometimes, like I got a point to prove. He started beefing with Shotty and them. So he put Dick Wolf and all them niggas behind him. And them niggas, they was under the Fed's radar. So now you get back into the streets with your legal money and put illegal niggas around you, and you get caught up in the rapture. That stuff that Casanova 2 times is locked up for is childish. For a millionaire. The nigga made it and knocked himself back down by the people that he surrounded himself with.
You know why? Let me tell you something. I was watching Lynn Fleet talked about when he went to Def Jam and he was talking to Russell and he dropped a gun. And he talked about, yo, it's real out here in the streets, it's this, that, and third. And Russell told him, like, yo, I got more money than you, I'm bigger than you. You don't see me walking around with a gun. So obviously you in the wrong crowds. So if you're getting that kind of money, you need to surround yourself with the people that got the same amount of money, the same kind of money, or more and better. And once you do that, you off the streets. You don't need to be around people or be around areas where you need a gun, where you got to pay for security. You know, and that drags you back. But this is sometimes these rappers never really lived that life, and they trying to be something that they really not because they rapping about that life that they heard from somebody that they was around, or was it a cousin, a brother, or somebody. So they want to be that dude. When this day and age, it ain't about that. But they not going to tell y'all that. They get caught up in the trick bag as well, because all of them is not the brightest or sharpest tool in the shed. You know, when they say going outside for what? I'm paying all this money for my house, or I paid all this money for my house. I want to enjoy my house and live in my house. I'm not going to stand on nobody's goddamn block and get a riot by NYPD or any other police force, the state troops, any of that. I want to be comfortable. When they pull me over, I give them everything they need, and they say, all right, you could go, sir, mister, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. I'm a grown man. I'm not a child. And these dudes got the mentality like they've been in jail and they stuck in time.
Don't nobody, and he could tell you just like I could tell you, because I don't know what it is that y'all like to sell to the internet, but Bill, niggas know Bill. Nigga got a legendary name in the penitentiary. And we was in jail together. We was in whatever they told y'all, we was in the bullpens together on Rikers Island for years. So, you know, which when you young boys look at us, and we both done turned niggas TVs off. That's what we was in there for. So you looking at niggas that beat 125.25s or did time for 125.25, that means a homicide, my nigga. And this is what dudes that been through what we've been through, this is what we look like after the bid. This is life after jail. This is what we look like. You see what I'm saying?
And I want to get on that a lot, you know what I'm saying? Because people's making these same dumb mistakes. Like, and there's nobody breaking the chain. There's nobody schooling the young. And I was talking to an individual about YNs. You know what I'm saying? And I asked the individuals, what the hell YN mean? And they talk about young boy. I said, that sound like young niggas. You know? And people is accepting that I'm a YN. I'm a YN. That's some ignorant
Hold up,
stuff.
Bill. Let me ask you something. Because you know I got to get into this conversation. It almost slipped my mind. So I was just thinking, I've been thinking lately, right? I don't know if you've been paying attention to what Trump been saying. But the nigga Trump said, I'm sending y'all to El Salvador. Now I want you to think about it. We know, like, what we went through on Rikers Island, it was no joke. The alarm stay going off. It was no joke on Rikers Island. We done went through the era of the Latin Kings, and we was there when the blood started. And to the point to where that they took over and they started reigning. But, yo, son, could you imagine being locked up in El Salvador?
Any country out of the United States. They could send you places in the United States that is harsh, is rough, the conditions is bad. But to send you out the country?
No. Hold on.
Send
Bill,
you out the country.
Bill, they sending you to El Salvador.
Out the country.
Have you ever seen how they run those jails over there?
The inmates run them with the money. The cartel runs
You
them.
don't have family to bring you nothing to eat. You're not going to live. On top of the fact that we just going to keep it all the way funky. Everybody and they mama hate America. Especially black America. And now you find yourself in El Salvador where nobody could, your family,
no outside communication.
nigga, your family can't afford to go see you in that jail, even if they let them. How long you think you gonna last in El Salvador's jail when you have like? Listen, man.
They're gonna make an example.
Listen, man.
They're gonna hear about
That's
it.
why, for me, first and foremost, what dudes gotta understand too is, for me to go to jail right now, at this age and have to eat jail food is a death sentence. We at the age where, like a car, when your car hit 200,000 miles, everything in that car says this car is over, and you know you done tried your best to keep this car alive, but you just know that it's over. Well, when you hit 40 and 50 years old and you hit that 50-year mark, if I had to go to jail right now and survive for 10 years, not beefing, I ain't even talking about getting busy with whatever gang or whatever set or whatever car, I'm talking about just eating jail food for the next 10 years. That might be a death sentence for me. Diabetes, full-fledged.
Yeah, the crackhead soups, all the commissary, the menu. You're gonna have to be in the kitchen, eating healthy. You're gonna have to be working out, and then the mental. It's a mental thing too, because you're a grown man and you got these CEOs that's 20-some years old telling you what to do. There's a whole lot of stuff. You got these, as they say, these young guys, these YNs, or you got the illiteracy of so much going on around you with the CEOs and the rest of the inmates that's going to drive you crazy, and that's going to have you angry, and it's going to have you thrown off. You don't want to have to go through that. You don't want to have to put yourself in a position like that in life. Look where we living. Look how we living. We got houses. We got freedom. We got green grass. We got, individuals got rivers. And let me show you. Let me take a walk.
Bill said we gonna take a walk.
We gotta walk, around this yard and see what's going on. What we doing, what's it? An 8x10 cell? You know what I'm saying? Individuals is living. You know what I'm saying? I'm not up to that status yet where my backyard is like this, but I got space. I ain't got a fence around my yard. I got freedom. We can look, we got even koi fish, This is outside. This is life, man. So why we want to go put ourselves through a struggle?
Hold up, Bill. Hold up, Bill. Go grab the fish food and feed the koi. Hold up.
We're going to show you what life is about. It gets better. A whole lot better. Life is different. You know what I'm saying? All that hard times and all that struggle, I'm struggling to live and stay alive. I got the koi food. I'm about to feed the fish. They're jumping out the water. They're splashing it. When you able to do stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? That's a sign of success. You get to relax. You get to understand life. The survival. This is the struggle. The struggle is to maintain this and stay away from your YNs. Stay away from the ignorant people so we can enjoy the fruits of our labor. You got me in the time's been hard for us. We done been through the roughness. You know what I'm saying? And you got all these dudes right now with these different podcasts coming out because they rappers or they know certain people. We start everything. We start from the bottom. We got to work hard. We ain't getting no handouts. We ain't getting nothing for free. Everything we get, we work for it. So I appreciate everything I get. I appreciate it. And I need my kids to appreciate it. But they know one thing they say, when I leave from them, they say, where daddy's going? Daddy's going to work. So you can have a bigger life and don't make the same mistakes that I made.
Daddy's going to work.
Daddy's going to work. They know that. The kids know that.
But yeah, y'all, man, it feel good when you came from the belly of the beast and you done seen your boys in the battlefield and y'all get to come out and we showing off each other toys. You know what I mean? Call this my black on black crime right here. This the black on black crime right here.
Thing looking real nice.
That's that black on black crime right there. Huh? Oh yeah,
this what it's about.
We definitely got the toys. We definitely got the toys.
When we come to my crib, we're gonna do something in my crib. You're gonna see. You're gonna see. We got houses around us. I have a little more space because I'm in the Poconos, but we got land. We got things to play with. We got our toys. We can show the fruit of our labor. That's what it's about. Like, you could do this by working, doing the right thing. And it comes again, the sacrifices. The sacrifice in life. Like, You don't have to sell drugs. You don't have to rob people. You don't have to scam. You don't have to do none of that to get ahead, to be winning in life. Only thing you gotta do is use your mind, use your head, take yourself out the negative shit, the negative environment. Put yourself in, how they say, people, places, things. Put yourself around people that help you grow. And it might start at a 9 to 5. From a 9 to 5, you could meet somebody at that job, that family, or whatever is doing something better. Or you can step up in your job. It's all, we need to grow. If you can't grow, you can't win. You got to have an open mindset. It's a sacrifice. I'm a sacrifice now, work hard so I can play later. You know?
Work hard now so you can play later.
Work hard now to play later.
See, for me, I'm not really with the we shall overcome and we all got to get together. It's over. It's over. It's over that. When you get to a certain level in life, right? All that sticking your hand in the barrel and pulling out a crab, but the crab trying to pull you back in the barrel. Once you get to a certain level in life, you learn that sometimes you can't look back and go back and save everybody. That be the mentality of a person that ain't never get to where they want to be in life. And then when you get to where you want to be in life, you become a young Dolph. You become a FBG Duck. You become a King Vaughn. When you get to where you want to be in life, the only place when you at the top, the only place left to go is to the bottom. And reaching down, trying to save just watch a video with everybody that made it to the top and actually tried to help everybody at the bottom and see what it do for you.
It ain't about helping anybody at the bottom. It's about saving the kids. You know, a grown man, if he ain't make it and he's in his 40s, why are you trying to help him? He don't want to make it. He's lazy. He's looking for a handout. He's looking for somebody to try to pull him out. You know, he ain't trying to pull himself out. That's the truth of the matter. You know what I'm saying? Crabs in the bucket. They keep on. Help the kids. Skip them people that didn't make it. They have age. Skip them people and let's go to the kids. Let's go to the youth.
The kids. I mean, it's all about the kids. But it's crazy. Like it's like I said, man. When
we gotta plant the seed and we gotta nurture the seed and watch some kids grow.
You can plant the seed all you want to, but if the ignorance that's being bred spread through your doorstep, through the radio or through the TV, and that influence hit them classrooms, and that peer pressure hits your children, now you in a fight. It's a losing battle, and that's why we can't elevate in the hood, because it's a losing battle. The most ignorant things in the world is being sold to your children in the hood. The most ignorant things.
Get out the hood.
In the okay, but everybody can't. Everybody can't afford to get out the hood, especially right now. And by the time they could afford to get out the hood, they like, you know what, I ain't even got the energy no more. My kids are 16, 17, 18 years old. This is a never-ending story.
I came out of jail at 40 plus years old. What you mean? Listen, you can't get out there. I came out of jail after 20 plus years. After 20 plus years, I came out. I got a job. I sacrificed. I ain't go to no clubs, no parties, no events until I got myself together. I sacrificed. The key word, sacrifice. So you can't tell me a grown-ass man can't do nothing. You can get you a job, you can get you a construction job, you can get you an office job, you can get you a maintenance job, and you can sacrifice, don't live above your means, and start looking outside the box. I want to start showing dudes, if I could make it, they could make it. I could show dudes how to get a goddamn house where it ain't that difficult. They're going to make it seem difficult, but it ain't that difficult. You got to want it. I was home in 2 years. I was house shopping. 2 years of me being home. The economy was crazy, so the house market jumped up, and I had to bid for houses, so it took me a little longer. But my 3rd year home, I had my own house, sacrificing. And you want to know crazy? The crazy thing is, I had a job, and when I started my job, I was making $16.90 an hour.
Let me ask you a question.
$16.90 an hour, doing overtime, working 16 hours a day, busting my ass, save my money.
Let me ask you a question.
Got what I needed, man. It's a sacrifice. That's the key.
Let me ask you a question.
Get out there so you get your kids out there. Go ahead, ask me. What you got? What you
Let me ask you a question. What you bought first, your house or your chain?
I brought my chain.
How long you had your chain?
I had my chain about 7 years, 6, 7 years now.
Right, so you had to come home from jail, so you had your chain. So basically, if you had to do it right now.
If I'm going to tell you this, if I had to do it right now,
40
I had
years
to start.
old.
At 40 years old, I came home, I lived with my mother, but I'm not trying to live with my mother. I'm not the 40-year-old version. I'm not trying to live with my mother after 40 years. It was embarrassing when I was meeting people and I was telling them I had to tell them I live with my mom. That was embarrassing. So that was motivation right there. But if I'd have had to do it over, like these foreigners do, I would have stayed with my mother.
Hold up. So you 40 years old, right?
Yeah.
You 40 years
I was
old.
40
You just
plus.
coming home. Now, you get a lump sum of money.
I didn't get a lump sum of
No,
money.
no. I'm saying, let's just say you just got a lump sum of money. What do you get first? A house or a chain?
Right now, I'm not getting either one if I got a place to live. I'm not going to buy a house or a chain. I'm going to invest that money into a business. Because I bought that house and that house has been dragging me down and been keeping me stagnated since I bought it. I would have made a better decision and got a business or got a house where it was a multi-family house where I'm generating revenue off it and I'm living for free. I would have made better decisions, but I was forced, not by my mother or anybody, but I was forced by me. My pride forced me to make a quick move and buy a house. But that was the goal. Buy a house or rent. I had to get out of what I was getting out. But it was exactly my work. I'm going to get a house. That's the American dream. Get me a house first. I'm not going to pay nobody else rent, make them rich, or pay their mortgage off and they kick me out, do what they want to do. I brought my house. I would have did things a little different, but I would have ended up with a house because that was the goal. Get a house, get your kids out the house. Out the hood. Bring them to the house. Show them a better life. The jewelry came. It came when it came. It was an opportunity. It was a sale. I brought it. Gold was cheaper at the time. Now gold is double the price. So my jewelry is worth double of what I paid for it. And I didn't pay for it straight out. Just like you pay a car note. When I got my chain, I put it down. I got the credit cards, and I paid on the credit cards, and I paid the credit cards back. So it wasn't like I went and spent $10,000, $15,000, just dropped that on the chain. I ain't have a lump sum. I had the credit cards with the credit. I went and strapped the credit cards, swiped the credit cards. Legit. Wasn't no scamming. Legit. Credit card under my name. I swiped it, and I paid off the credit card. That's how I got my jewelry. But if I would have got a lump sum of money, or had a lump sum of money, it was going into a business. What's going to make money for me? What's going to work for me? And how I'm going to make this money work for me? Because U.S. currency is nothing. That paper money that people got on their mattress, in the shoebox, in the closet, that could burn up, then you don't have nothing. How I'm going to turn this U.S. currency, the dollar, into money, something that's worth something. And that was getting me a house, getting me a piece of jewelry, getting me something that's worth something. My next step is a business and land.
That's what it's all about, the land. I tried to tell people throughout the years, it was all about getting the land back that was taken from us. But, it's sad because for me, I'm battling evil, ignorance. And ignorance can be very, very evil. I try to tell people all the time that it's like Lil Boosie. Lil Boosie went and got him some land. Then after he got some land, he built a house on his property for each and every last one of his children. But when I got to deal with the ignorant mentality of the hood, the ghetto, where nobody's smiling, and you got niggas that do get in position, and then they get on TV through the music, through YouTube, through whatever, and the first thing they do is sell you the hood. So when you get your money, the first thing that you do, what I'm trying to make y'all stop doing is, you get a piece of money at 40 or 50 years old, you halfway in the grave already. You lucky you made it that far. The first thing that you do is don't go buy a piece of jewelry. At 40 and 50 years old, you ain't got no property. You still living in a tenement building. You still with. I don't respect niggas that stand outside the projects, that live inside the projects, that got a Rolex on their arm, that they done spent $10 to $20, $30,000 on. I don't respect you at all. Because what you did was you showed me that your selfishness, that you didn't even care about your mother. You know how Pac said, Mama, this your house, this your land. Your only son done became a man. You don't know what it's like to say, hey, Mom, you gave me a room my whole life. Here's your room in my house whenever you want to let your apartment go. See, I don't knock a nigga that his mother lives with him, but I do knock a nigga that's 40 years old that live with his mother. But some people don't see through the same eyes. You niggas be praising niggas that live with their mother at 40 years old. I don't. That's why you as a man, you looking around.
That's embarrassing living with your mother at 40. I couldn't do it. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. How you gonna tell a female? How you gonna tell your man, yo, come to my house, come to my mom's crib, meet me at my mom's crib? Oh, you ain't 20, you ain't 19 from my mom's crib. And like, I've been on the street since a kid. So I ain't been in my mom's crib. It was awkward for me coming home from jail or living with my mom. Before I went to jail, I wasn't living with my mom. Now at 40 years old, as grown as I'm living with my, that's embarrassing. And I was out here with these white people, these young white people, when I was at my job, and these dudes is 24, 25, and their parents molded them and put them on the game, showed them you're going to get you a career job, you're going to get you some money, you're going to buy a house and you can provide for your family. And these dudes had houses at 24, 25. Here I'm playing catcher because I'm 40 plus years old. And these young dudes got houses already, whether it's paid for or not.
Man,
but
two things I don't want to do. I'm going to say it again. I don't want to live with my mother at 40 years old. I don't want to live with a female that every other week she telling me to get out. And I don't want to be that nigga in my 40s and 50s or 60 years old calling somebody on the phone saying, yo, can I borrow $20? That's why I hustle hard. That's why every day there's no days off. Even when I take a day off, I'm contemplating on that bag.
It should be, yo, Haas, you got 20 grand? Fuck $20. You got 20 grand? I got this business investment, this business proposal for you that we can get some money. You got 20, I got two other people with me, they got 20, you want for 20s, 100,000, and we're going to buy this, and we're going to see how this thing works. That's what you need money for. Growth. Doing something, you know what I'm saying, to generate money. $20 for what? If you ask for $20, you need a job. Or a better job.
Go ahead and buy that gold chain. And that's gonna be the only thing around your neck when you laying in that casket. Matter of fact, they might have to pawn it to bury you. Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah.